Hi, I'm Jake, and I don't know if you can tell, but I am massively Canadian. That's right, I'm from the great white, not in the raceway, I swear. There's literally snow everywhere here in the winter. It's physically, actually for real, the color white. North. No contentions here, this one's completely accurate. Okay, the Great White North might not be a completely accurate term, but statistically speaking, you're likely American, which means you're not doing much better, asshole. And I'm going to prove that using facts and logic that would put Ben Shapiro's fucking short ass to shame. Here are 18 reasons why Canada is better than the United States. Off the dome, which is currently powered by 4.5 hours of sleep, 739.3 milliliters of water, and the sheer joy I get from condescending to you people. How's about we get started with a little small one, get you lubed up, because you're gonna need it. Hey there, sleepyhead, look who's finally awake! Did you know that according to YouTube statistics, only 11 of you are subscribed to me? Well, you better get it to 12 or else your local orphanage is going to become a really good piece of real estate for a haunted house. Commit that to the dome, why don't you? Anyways, back to the video. Number 1. Tap. All you filthy Yanks are probably sitting on your asses right now all like, what the fuck is tap, you Canuck cuck? A very good question that I will answer with a story. So there I was, the drive-thru at the local Timmy's. I order my usual, a turkey bacon club, with no tomato, on a plain bagel, with a side of potato wedges, chipotle dipping sauce, and a medium frozen lemonade. I pull up to the window, cards ready. They scan my rewards card. They take out the payment terminal. I tap my debit card to it. I'm down $10.54, and now the meal legally belongs to me. If you didn't understand that, basically tap is a very convenient way of making small purchases where you tap your card to the terminal and it automatically pays for it. Tap payments are great because they make drive-thrus much quicker, they make paying for stuff much less risky in the middle of a pandemic, and you can do them pretty much anywhere in Canada. Straight up, actually for real, the entire reason I am making this video is because I found out like a couple months ago that you guys don't have tap, which fucking baffled me. Now that you've been lubed up with a small one, let's move on to the first of many big ones that will be running a train on your shitty ass country. Number 2, healthcare. Obviously. This one is very simple. I have one less way to be put into crippling debt than you, which is sick as fuck. Contrary to the beliefs of stupid people, the healthcare system doesn't make Canada a socialist country. Trust me, I've had enough bosses to know that this isn't a socialist country. Yet. Our healthcare system isn't perfect, far from it actually, but it is much better for the average person than the American system is. And I don't like that. America is rich enough to have the highest quality and most well-funded free healthcare in the world, and the only reason it doesn't do that is because rich health insurance executives love taking your money while providing nothing of value. I desperately want you guys to be able to condescend to us about how fucking awesome your healthcare system is, because if you improve your healthcare system and make it better than ours, Canada will follow suit and work out the kinks in its own system. And that sounds like a fucking good deal for both of us. Well, now I'm fucking heated. How about we move on to the next one that'll piss me off even more. Number 3, Thanksgiving. You know what? I'll be the first to say it. American Thanksgiving is on the wrong day. And not only is it wrong temporally, it's wrong morally. I have several reasons why I think this, but the first and most important reason of them all is that the Christmas season starts on November 1st. You want to know who agreed with me? Franklin D. Roosevelt, aka the 32nd President of the United States, aka the guy who legally moved the date of American Thanksgiving up a week to improve retail profits for the Christmas season. Look it up, that's a real thing. You guys don't even celebrate the real American Thanksgiving. Another reason why is because, let's be real, turkey sucks dick and it takes more than a month to recover from the political discussions at the dinner table. God, relatives have shit takes. Also, the fall aesthetic of Thanksgiving just doesn't fucking work in November. There's snow everywhere by that point. It doesn't match the color palette. I could keep going, but I plan on finishing this video before I decompose. 4. The metric system. Fuck the imperial system. What do you think I am, a foot fetishist? It's super easy, bro. It's just inches, feet, yards, and miles. Okay, how many inches are in a foot? 12, obviously. Okay, so 12 feet should make a yard then, right? Actually, no, 3 feet isn't a yard. What? Just use feet and then multiply the amount of yards by 3. Why do you even use yards? They're a pointless measurement. Like, whatever, just... How many yards are in a mile? 1,760. What? You clearly just picked that number randomly right now. What the fuck are you even talking about? The metric system is so fucking simple. There's 1,000 millimeters in a meter and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. There's so much more consistency in the metric system. That's why scientists around the world use the metric system. Again, fuck the imperial system. I don't like feet. Okay, this next one is gonna be real rough, so how about we just take a moment to take a deep breath just so we can calm our nerves before we move into it, okay? So just breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, are you ready? All right. Don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Number 5, Canada has never had slavery. Whoa, holy shit, did you think I was actually going to talk about slavery in a video about why Canada is better than the United States? Dude, Canada did slavery for almost as long as the US did, and the fact that it wasn't its own independent nation at the time doesn't just erase that. And because both countries have super fucked histories with slavery, they're both getting points removed, because fuck you, you can't predict me. Number 6, the Republican Party. Yeah, I don't feel the need to clarify this one. It's pretty self-explanatory. Number 7, House Hippos. Ever heard of them? Listen, okay, I don't care what your science says. I know that they're real, they're in Canada, and I want one. Number 8, the gays have been allowed to smooch, fuck, and sign legal documentation here for much longer than they have in the US. Did you know that Canada was the first country in the world to uphold the legality of a same-sex marriage, and it was the 4th country in the world to make same-sex marriage legal? Because I didn't before making this video, and that's pretty fucking awesome. Canada is ranked as the most gay-friendly country in the world. That's right, the whole ass world. Surveys from Pew Research show that 85% of the general population of Canada favors the social acceptance of gay people, which isn't perfect, but it's getting there, which is pretty fucking awesome. You know what? This is such a massive dub for Canada that I'm adding 2 points. I don't care. I don't care. Now, some of the stupider people in the audience might be asking themselves why I included this in my list, and the answer is pretty fucking simple. Hi there! You just caught me coming out of the closet to say that we here at Zero Expectations Productions are huge supporters of the LGBTQIA+ community. Zero Expectations, where you can expect nothing but good takes. I'm gonna get back in the closet now. So, later. Before we move on, I'd just like to say that if you disagree with me, you have bad breath. I'm not sorry, I do make the rules, and one of those rules is that homophobes don't understand the concept of dental hygiene. Speaking of things that Americans are ignorant on, how about we get on to number 9, prisons. Did you know that the US has like a fuck ton of privately owned prisons? Because I was shocked when I found out that not all American prisons are run by the American government. And when I tried to look it up, I couldn't even find a straightforward answer on how many privately owned prisons there were in America. So I did some digging on the subject, and I found out some pretty interesting information regarding private prisons. Like, do you know how many private prisons Canada has had over, like, the course of its entire running? 3. All of which are now either government-owned or have been shut down. And on top of that, our prison population per 100,000 citizens is like a sixth of yours, and your recidivism rates are much higher, like around double higher. Even our prisons are better than yours, dude. While we're on the subject of detention centers, why don't we talk about the literal concentration camps that you guys have on US soil? Number 10. ICE detention centers. You know, the ones where they round up asylum seekers at the border, separate them from their children, and then toss them in camps that even Holocaust survivor organizations have called concentration camps. And they're not exaggerating when they say concentration camps either. These detention centers often come under fire for human rights violations, like the horrible conditions of the camps, or the allegations of forcing female detainees to undergo hysterectomies, sterilizing the people they're detaining. I have no jokes for this. It's disgusting that this shit is just allowed to continue, and I refuse to make light of it. I think just for fairness, we're gonna take 2 away from the US here, because they earned it. That's a 10-point lead. You guys aren't even trying at this point. Number 11. Wait. I don't have enough fingers for this. Oh, ew, gross. What the fuck? Ew. Ugh. Ugh. Number 11. Freedom. So much for land of the free, because Canada is more free than the US. Freedom House is an organization that releases a report every year that ranks countries based on access to political rights and civil liberties. Canada ranked 7th in their 2020 report with a score of 98 out of 100. The US ranked 52nd with a score of 86. And you can jerk off to how free you guys are all you want, but the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of countries that are doing better than you guys. And as much as I hate to admit it, the Brits are with us in that club. Even though their democracy is entirely contingent on a chick named Liz saying she's cool with it. Wow. Number 12. You guys made English even more confusing than it already is. It was simple. The British made the language. It worked. People liked it. But then some Yankee dipshit decided, you know what, I'm gonna take the U out of color, and now I don't know whether realize is spelt with an S or a Z, and I refuse to look it up because it fuels my rage. I've run out of fingers with which to count. Anyway, number 13, voting rights. This one's pretty simple, actually. Once they turn 18, every Canadian citizen is automatically registered to vote. I found this out because I turned 18 literally the day before our last federal election. I didn't register, and I still voted. Another thing we have going for us up here in Canada is that the only way to have your right to vote revoked is to engage in political fuckery, which even that is temporary. This isn't the case in the US, though. They have different rules for every state, and the states that have a tendency to get colored in red happen to be the most difficult states to vote in. How strange. Also, the Electoral College sucks ass, and I don't feel the need or want to explain why. Number 14? Which one was that one? Oh yeah! The Coup Attempt! That's not a point for us, but I think you guys deserve getting a point off for getting this dickhead in office. Number 15. Jim Carrey. The last thing you'd want in your constitutional democratic republic is to not be the birthplace of James Eugene Carey. But as it turns out, that might be what you get. Sorry about that. I haven't had full control over my brain since it got intimate with the side of my skull 2 videos ago. Now, as much as I think Jim Carrey is a dub for us, I did just make a Chills reference in our Year of the Lord 2021, which doesn't reflect well on my homeland. So how's about we call this even and just forget it happened? Next one's gonna be super smart, I promise. Number 16, social mobility. This one is going to take a lot of explaining to make any sense at all. Social mobility is a measurement of intergenerational wealth, which means how wealth in one generation of the family affects the wealth of the next generation. Social mobility measures how easy it is for someone born on one step of the wealth ladder to die on another step. Studies seem to show that when it comes to social mobility, there is a certain stickiness at the ends, which means that if you're born on the top step of the wealth ladder, odds are you're going to die there, and same goes for the bottom step. Essentially, social mobility is a measurement of how possible the American dream is. More like Canadian dream. This is because in 2020, the World Social Mobility Index ranked Canada in 14th place with a score of 76.1, tied with Japan, which is only notable because I'm a fucking weeb. The US, on the other hand, ranked 27th with a score of 70.4. All of this has been a roundabout way of saying that if you want to accomplish the American dream, consider Canada before you move to LA and then empty your bank account for an ambulance because you stub your toe running away from a horny Republican senator. On second thought, they should probably change it to the Danish dream. That sounds like the name of an awesome bakery. You know what else sells pastries? Number 17. Tim Hortons. Now, who was Tim Horton? He was a husband, a father, and one of the best hockey players in the NHL for his time and ever since. He was so good, in fact, that the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup was when he played for them, and that was over 50 years ago. But all of his accomplishments in the world of hockey pale in comparison to his greatest contribution to Canadian culture. Tim Hortons, a safe haven for Canadians. People say that home is where the heart is, but for a Canadian, home is where the Timmies are. The Timmies are here, and we're a better country for it. I'm telling you right now, this is one of the very few times you'll catch me simping for a corporation. And finally, number 18. Canadians are just so fucking nice. And that's because the entire Canadian population has unanimously agreed to pool all of our nation's collective evil into Canadian geese, which are the only species of bird that can legally be classified as terrorists. Those feathery fucks are lucky that they aren't flightless, because they are all on the no-fly list. Wait, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, our people are better than yours. Now it's time to tally up those points. Drum roll, please. Canada wins, obviously. I rigged the video in our favor. Not that I needed to. America is a third world country with first world aesthetics. You guys make Canada look boring as fuck in comparison. Your country and its politics are so bafflingly shit that it is impossible for us to get interested in our own country's politics. It's like we can't focus on our own country's problems because we look at our neighbors and are just constantly shocked to see how you guys find new ways to burn your fucking house down. And don't get me wrong, as an avid fan of fire and destruction, it's beautiful to look at, but I'm concerned by how close it is. Listen, I like arson as much as the next guy, but I gotta say, it looks better on other people's houses, and you're bringing it unfashionably close to mine. But Canada isn't perfect either, so instead of just sucking off my homeland for a whole-ass video, I figured I'd end by listing 5 cons of living in Canada. If you guys like this section, I might do a video on its own where I just talk shit about Canada the whole time, because trust me, I have enough material. Number 1, winter sucks dick, especially out here in the Tobe. Shit gets to negative 40 degrees Celsius out here. Fucking whack. Number 2, Newfoundland. Yeah, just as a whole, that's it. Number 3, unfortunately and I have to stress this, much better quality of healthcare for the average person does come at a cost. We have to reach an annual abortion quota to accumulate enough biomass from unsullied beings, whatever the fuck that means, to use in our yearly sacrificial ritual to the elder gods of medicine. This isn't an ideal system because it doesn't cover dental, mental, or physio, but overall it produces much better outcomes for us in comparison to you guys. Number 4, French is our national second language, but no one here speaks French. I would know. I speak French. Number 5. Our national anthem isn't ideal. It's better than yours, but it isn't perfect. This one has a really easy fix because there's a perfect fit waiting in the wings here. And that perfect musical composition is Shark Tank's hit song, Out for a Rip. There's no song out there that encapsulates what it means to be a Canadian more than Out for a Rip does. And I would regret it forever if I didn't get to leave you off with it. So here is Canada's true national anthem. Later.
I'm from the Great White North, right? Like up above the States?
Yeah.
The big landmass that the rest of the world hates?
Yeah.
Well, we're like above that. Fucking north, I guess. The big patch of trees where everybody's bored to death. We're just chilling up here, sipping syrup, playing hockey. Before we learn to walk, we can cross-check properly. Just rocking plaid jackets. Chainsaws, we operate them right. Fucking A-right we do, bud. We cut our weight in firewood. Every 20 minutes or so. Smoke break. And if the Leafs make the playoffs, I'll fucking jump in the lake. Fucking buddy comes over to my place the other night and he's like, you wanna go out for a rip? And I was like, fucking right. Yeah. So we hop in the truck and hit the mud and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, bud. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. I come from the land of the polite, where shit's covered in ice. And when I'm down in the States, they're like, you're too fucking nice. I'm like, yeah, we got manners, but fucking buddies still fight and fucking swear and fucking drink all night. Like this one time, me and fucking buddy are out having a dart, and fucking buddy burns a hole in my coat. And I was like, fuck, bud, because the coat was pretty new, right? And he's like, fuck you. So I put his head in a snowbank and just started fucking feeding him the right, left, like fucking boom, boom, boom. Got enough yet? And he's like, okay, fuck, chill out, shit. So I pulled him out of the snow and we went out for a rip. Yeah. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah. Just out for a rip. Fucking right.
Hi again. Hope you'll entertain me for like another minute or so, because I've only got a bit more to go. I'm recording this at like 10:45 on Canada Day, which marks a little bit of controversy that's been going on up here in Canada. A lot of people aren't celebrating Canada Day this year because at this point we've discovered over 1,000 unmarked graves at the sites of old residential schools. And honestly, I'm right alongside the people who aren't celebrating because, I'm gonna be honest, coming face to face with genocide like this, not really putting me in a fucking patriotic mood. So, cancel Canada Day, fuck you. So in the spirit of canceling Canada Day, I'd like to make a bit of a correction to the part about concentration camps earlier in the video, because Canada did have concentration camps. They were called residential schools. So I'm gonna take off the same 2 points from Canada that I took off from the US. It's only fair. Today also marks about 8 months of me working on this fucking video, and honestly, I'm really sick of it, so I'm recording this, adding it in, and shipping it the fuck off. But as much as I've grown to dislike this video over the course of the time that I've been working on it, I've still learned a few things in the process. I've learned that red lighting is a pain in the fucking dick to work with. I've learned not to make heavily edited videos that are over 20 minutes long. And most importantly, I've learned that I shouldn't be wasting good fucking bits on videos that are not worth the work. Like, the only reason that I'm still uploading this video is because of that bit where I grew an extra finger out of my hand because that took me a fucking week to do. But yeah, I've been working on this video for way too fucking long, and I wouldn't have been able to get through it without this video's sponsor, water. Hydrate or dihydrate. Alright, I'm done for real now this time. Later.